Would you intimidate your celebrity crush? That's today's question in a yes or no format. Hi, I'm Sunny and I have 3 piles you guys can choose from. From left to right, pile 1, 2, and 3. So if you need more time, please stop the video. Otherwise, I will go ahead and start with the first pile. So for pile number 1, you guys have the 4 of Pentacles reversed. So would you intimidate your celebrity crush? I didn't want to stop halfway, but I did. No, you would not. I think that you're someone that's very giving and very giving of your time and maybe your income. So maybe you're someone that's like always supporting them with their merchandise and stuff. So they appreciate that. They don't feel like you're intimidating. I think maybe it's just the fact that you're a little bit more shyer or more like quiet, and like people have to kind of pull that communication out of you because it's not easy for you to be like as not socially aware, but socially interactive with people if it's not without a purpose. So like asking them like something irrelevant or like something just to be casual, that's not your forte. Mostly because you always, like when you talk to people, it's like, oh hey, do you want to hang out? Hey, I need to do this. Like you always have to do an action to finish something, to basically like communicate. It just feels like if that didn't make sense, it's more so your communication's not so like emotional. It's not that it's soft or harsh, it's just your communication's a little bit more purposeful, curt, brief. And maybe you might not notice it sometimes. Please and thank you adding to that will make your sentences a little bit more softer. Maybe you just sound very demanding, maybe, or maybe you sound very loud, like not loud obnoxious, but loud like a stern voice. And maybe that's why people might think like, oh, this person's like a little bit more meaner or a little bit more a certain way. And if that's the type of like thought that they're thinking of, like once they speak to you and stuff, like they're like, oh no, this person's like a lot softer. It's just that they look intimidating in that way. Maybe it's your height, or maybe it's like your voice, or maybe it's your stare. Or maybe you just dress very serious, but you're someone that's a lot more like sensitive and soft and mushy, and they're like, oh okay, like this person's just like a homebody, or maybe this person doesn't interact with people too much, or maybe this person just holds very selective friends, and maybe that's why people can assume that you're a little scary, right? But you're someone that's very sweet, but I do think that maybe it takes a little bit more effort in other people's parts and in your part too, to kind of establish communication that feels more flow and like a natural kind of thing. So this is a no, which is great. It means you can talk to your not that you can't, but you can talk to your celebrity crush without feeling like you're scaring them in a way, but it just feels like you're someone that's a little bit more on the quieter side. Maybe you're just like that shy fan who's holding like their album on their like hands, and they're just like squishing it, like the pentacles right there, and you're just like, hi, like that's how you say it. And like you basically let them talk, and so they're like, are they a fan, are they not a fan? It can be like that, where you leave people wondering, but it's just that you're a little bit more quiet. That's just your personality. So thank you, pile number 1. Pile number 2, you guys have the Hangman upright. So with this pile, maybe I should just leave it like that. There you go. Would you intimidate your celebrity crush? Yes, you would. And that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's like just the way you look. But I think it's because you scare them in the way where they feel that you're someone that is like hiding like something behind your hands, for example, like the Hangman here. Maybe you want to show them something, but they're scared of what it could be. Or maybe you pop up something like very weird. So like I think of I don't know where I saw this from. I think when I logged in on Instagram, where I saw an interviewer, I forgot what she gave. It was it a belt or something, but it was like a more personal object to Alexander Skarsgård, and he basically like like his face. He was polite, but I think you could tell that he felt a bit maybe uncomfortable because of the movie. I forgot which movie he was in, but it basically, that was just his character. Maybe like people might not separate sometimes the character between the person they're playing and the person behind that character is very different. It's just someone it's just work, right? And maybe you might be that kind of person where you might show a very uncomfortable item to them. They're polite, but it just feels like they're uncomfortable. It's just one of those things where that's why it can be a bit intimidating, or a little too much, overwhelming. I feel this is more overwhelming for this pile, where you could be the person giving an inappropriate gift, or just a very personal gift like that. That's not like a sweet, emotional, personal gift. It's more like that's relating to maybe something that I could do on my private time, right? If you get what I'm trying to say between the lines. Or maybe it's just like one of those creepier things, like, I don't know, like you asking for like a lock of their hair, or maybe something like that, like just, you don't need to, right? So it can be intimidating that way, where it's like, I don't know, like maybe it's in one of those meet and greets kind of stuff, or maybe it's just like, maybe you're standing outside like a movie premiere or something, and they're signing autographs and stuff, and then they see that something you show them makes them uncomfortable, and they're like, oh, thank you, like, I acknowledge that. So it could be like that. So, I mean, keep in mind that yes, it can be intimidating. They might still talk to you, but they might not want to kind of approach you too much. They might want to have that distance where they don't want to take any action of it, but they don't want to say anything, so that's why they're the hangman, where it's like, I'm thinking stuff in my head, but I'm not doing anything about it because I'm thinking of all the possibilities that it can play out as. And the same goes for you. So that's why it can be intimidating for them. So thank you, pile number 2. Not every message is always positive, but it needs to be said. So the Magician is upright for you guys. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. Would your celebrity crush be intimidated by you? This is a yes. Your celebrity crush would be intimidated by you because you are someone that can be a bit, you can have a bit the look at me vibe. Maybe like, I don't want to say like a pick me person, but it's just like you have to stand out from the crowd. And maybe that's why it can be intimidating. I don't know who you're specifically thinking about as your celebrity crush, but I just feel that they would be intimidated because you're someone that garners attention, or maybe it's someone that they notice that you're someone that has like maybe eyes on you, not necessarily like a posse with you, but just you are eye-catching, and it's in a way where not like, oh, you're beautiful kind of thing, you're not ugly either, but if I interact with this person, people would put a focus on me, not in the way where I want it to be, because maybe you're being over the top, or you're being like provoking, or you trigger them, or maybe you're someone, if it's not like this, it could be someone that's like trying to ask them questions, or maybe you're like a reporter or something, and you're just like, Mr. John Doe or something, like, what do you think about this? And like, you're trying to like get something out of them, and they know that like you're just fishing for something. So that's why they would be intimidated. Like, they know that you would have the attention of people, just not in the way they'd like it to. Like, it would just be, people would either love that interaction or hate that interaction. And that's why it's like, I'm trying to see whether it's the right move, right, to be talking to this person. So it can be like that. They can see that you're trying to impress them or something by showing them something, or by asking them something, just basically like going at it, not full force, but it feels like you're trying to stand out from the crowd or be different by doing some action or saying something that's going to be out there in the internet. And if they say something or they react, it could be one of those things that could either make people love them more or hate them more. And they're like, I think it's more towards the negative side. Like, if they get judgmental or like show their actual personal like opinions, and not so much like the opinions of like themselves as the public persona, that might give it a backlash. And that's why you can intimidate them. It's like, what is this person gonna show me up their sleeve? It's just, what magic tricks are you gonna pull to basically try to make the attention go to you, or garner them that attention and like impress them, or trying to like catch them. It's like, it just feels like maybe you are trying too hard to basically be noticed by that person. And maybe I think of that scene from the I always have a scene I'm thinking about of Mr. Incredible, and I forgot the villain, but in the first movie for the Incredibles, he's the little redhead boy, and he's like Buddy. I think his name is Buddy, or am I confusing him with Elf? But he grows up and he basically is brokenhearted about the fact that he met his hero and it didn't go the way he wanted it to, but it's because it was just a circumstance, not the right place, not the right time, and he ends up like in his villain era and basically trying to get rid of him. So it can be like that, where it's like you met your hero and stuff, and maybe it was in the right time, not the right circumstance, or just you weren't allowing them that privacy, and now it's like you're trying the best way you can to basically take the good public opinion away from them, maybe. Or it could turn out like that. It just feels like that interaction would not be the best way to handle that. So that's what I have for you, pile number 3. I think it was 3, yeah. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna say anything else besides that. So thank you so much. Sorry if you didn't hear the message you wanted to hear, but it's the truth. That's the interpretation I got. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in a different video. So bye, everybody.